Hello and welcome to Galway Island for Game 1 of the 2006 International Rules Series. Australia holds the cup after...
That's on. He loves that inside out. It's another over for Australia. It is. It's a goal. Oh no, when he kicked it. Gilby from the 20. He's off big time again.
They have absolutely wiped the Irish.
Hello and welcome to Galway Island for Game 1 of the 2006 International Rules Series. Australia holds the cup after last year's controversial victory over Ireland in Australia. Now the locals want a bit of a revenge. This week they had been baying for some Australian blood, and that's been pretty obvious as I welcome the coach of the Australian team, Kevin Sheedy. We've had an interesting welcome this year, Kevin.
Yeah, look, it's been pretty forthright. Obviously, very concerned about the incident last year, but I think they're just starting to come to fruition in regard to that we actually played fairly well last year, and we shouldn't dismiss that from that team. Obviously, it's a new team this year, but I didn't think that our players last year got any recognition other than just they were brawlers.
Yeah, the Chris Johnson controversy,
Yes.
what sort of effects has had on your welcome this year?
Well, fantastic, because we've got two sellout crowds. You know, we're probably going to play two games for about 75 minutes each, which is about, obviously about 2.5 hours of football, and we're sold out and got over 115,000 going to both games. So, I mean, we could probably thank Chris Johnson for that, but he's not here to help us.
How's your preparation been?
Very good. The boys have worked very hard. We've trained most days except for the big drive up here to Galway. It's about a 5-hour bus trip. So, but other than that, they've been really dedicated. They've played and trained very, very well. And look, it's like last year. We just don't know. We've had 40 players turned over this year and last year already. It's a very young side, blended with some experienced players. So we're probably like everyone else. We're not quite sure, but that's the excitement of it.
Who's been shining at training as we have a look at the side?
Look, I think most of the players. I think Brendan Goddard's got better as the week's gone on. I think that Voss has played very well at training. I mean, he's quite an amazing player. And as I said to the players, you know, you're very lucky to play in Voss's last 2 matches in his career.
And finally, the Irish side, how have you seen their makeup? They've obviously gone for a bigger unit this year.
A bigger side, much more experience. A lot of players have played multiple international rule games, and a very experienced coach. So, look, it's going to be a tough, tight night tonight. There's no doubt about it. And it's been plenty of water around. We'd like to send some back to Australia.
Thanks for your time, Kevin. Good luck.
Thank you.
So that is all in readiness now for a great game. It's a sellout crowd here. We're going to take a break. The action next, Australia versus Ireland from Galway. And welcome back to Pearce Stadium in Galway Island as the players from the respective teams are officially introduced to the officials. There's Dustin Fletcher, the captain for Australia tonight, who's going to be standing in goal. And it's with great pleasure I welcome a man who knows this Gaelic code better than anyone in Ireland. My co-commentator tonight, Marty Morrissey. Marty, great to have you aboard.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Nice to be with you.
Well, look, an hour or so ago it was wet and windy and cold and you know it, but it's just cleared beautifully. It's almost a balmy night. It's nice now.
You know what they say about the Irish. We have the look of the Irish, and God has to be an Irishman and has to love football, whether it be AFL or Gaelic football, because it has been a terrible week in Ireland.
It has.
And thankfully the rain, the mist and the fog over the west coast of Ireland, where we are at the moment, has lifted, and we now have very clear night, very cold night, as the Irish captain Kieran McGeeney, wearing number 19 from Armagh in the province of Ulster up in Northern Ireland, introduces the president of the GA, Nicky Brennan, and indeed your own
Andrew
officials
Demetriou, yep.
from Australia to the Irish players. So it's a lovely night, and it's nice to be with you here in Channel 10.
And it's the first time we've played in Galway. It's a sellout crowd of roughly about 34,000, and I've got to say, despite all the rain they've had this week here, the surface is magnificent.
Yeah, I remember actually playing here as a student, and it was one of the worst pitches in Ireland because in the winter it used to get really, really wet. But over the last couple of years, a couple of people led by Joe Connolly, who was a great Galway hurler, who was part of the Galway team that won the All-Ireland in 1981, got behind a committee, and they resurfaced and built this beautiful stadium. So it's magnificent here.
Time now to just pause as we take in the two national anthems of Australia and Ireland. Fantastic atmosphere here at Galway, and look, before the game we had hurling, we had fights, we had a dog on the field, and we've got another one, Marty. The game hasn't even started, we've got a dog already on the field.
And the dog has a special affinity for the Irish team because he's just dancing around them, and they won't, he's actually biting some of them, and he obviously must be a GA fan. You didn't bring him with you anyway.
No, I didn't. It's quarantine wouldn't allow that. Now they're having the dog's having a go at the Australians. We're not seeing it on screen at the moment, but the dog is snapping at the heels of Andrew Rains at the moment. Oh dear.
This actually happened 2 years ago as well in Croke Park, and unfortunately
it's a tradition.
It's almost a tradition, but the owners of the dog actually was from Ballyfermot, which is the north side of Dublin, and the dog had been missing for 3 or 4 days, and the first they saw of the little dog was on TV.
Well, here it is. The dog's gone up to the referees, and we'll have a bit of a delay here. Oh dear. There's the Australian squad, and there's the umpire Shane McInerney from Australia. He's got in. Beautifully done, Shane McInerney, who is of Irish heritage, by the way, may I say, 4th generation. And that is magnificent bit of refereeing from Shane McInerney to start this game. Marty, what's going on?
Shane McInerney is actually, his mother, I think, is from a place called Kilrush in West Clare, and ironically enough, that's where I'm originally from as well.
We've got Shane McInerney and Pat McInerney, the two referees.
Pat McInerney, yes, from Monaghan. One of the unique referees in Ireland. He's refereed 4 All-Ireland finals, which is equivalent to your grand finals.
Well, it was a controversial series last year, but all that now is forgotten as we start the International Rules Series for 2006. Australia are the reigning champions. And starting things off is the new young star for Ireland, Donaghy. Kieran Donaghy up against Barry Hall. We're away at Pearse Stadium in Galway.
It's going to be an interesting game here because Donaghy has played full forward for Kerry in the championships, but they've started, interestingly enough, at midfield.
This is McDonald, had an excellent season for Melbourne, kicks Slews off the side of the boot to half forward. Now here's one of the real stars for Australia. Got pace aplenty, Aaron Davey. Goes to Hall, who's all of a sudden worked his way up forward. And the last player to touch it is therefore a free kick. And that will now go to Ireland, the ball. It goes out of bounds. The last team to touch it turns it over.
Well, Barry Hall is a very charismatic figure here in Ireland, because they actually admire him, and yet they don't particularly like him either, because he's such a multi-talented player. But an awful lot of the crowd have come to see Barry Hall because he's a huge fan base here. This is Alan Quirk, goalkeeper for Cork and for Ireland in his very first international series. Ball given away to the Australians.
Yep, Ryan O'Keefe, the Sydney Swan Star. Back to Lappin. Australian numbers here. Schneider. Out wide to Goddard, who has really impressed with his skills in this game. That's a risky old kick. Out wide, and it's a turnover. So a bad error there from Brendan Goddard as Ireland get the ball just over the halfway line.
Paul Galvin taking the sideline for as Joe Bergen. That's a Kerry-Galway combination. And calling over at this side is Tom Kelly, but the interception was from an Irishman. The holding wasn't great. Ty Kennelly gets a little boot in there, but the Australians defending well.
There's a free kick here.
You know Ty Kennelly rather well.
He's a star. He's a genuine star in the competition. One of the most exciting players coming off half-back, and it was a bit of a novelty a few years ago, but now he's a fully fledged Australian rules star, mate.
And he's a lovely guy as well.
He is. So Australia have got the ball. This is McDonald. Over to Fletcher, who's captaining Australia tonight, as I said, playing in goal. Andrew Raines, one of the young rising stars of the competition. Back to Fletcher. And we saw Fletcher have a lot of possession last year. It worked a treat for the Australians, and that's the plan again tonight. Schneider. Not a lot to go to, so back to Fletcher. Over to Lappin. It's been somewhat of a cautious start, hasn't it, from both teams?
Yeah, surprisingly a defensive move there by the Australians, because normally they're quite good with that long ball. That sort of a ball from Fletcher. Gathered here by Tom Kelly, who normally plays in the half-back line for Leash. And here comes Ireland. Crossfield ball, a little bit optimistic to say the least. Australians hitting hard and fair. Nothing wrong with all of that. And regather possession.
Schneider. Just remembering, a goal is worth 6 points. The over is 3, and there's also a behind, which is worth a traditional 1, as Ireland get the ball back in the midfield.
Kieran McGeeney, an inspirational captain for Armagh back in the early part of this century. Here's Graham Geraghty, knocks it back for his, Tom Kelly. I think it still remains an Irish ball. Maurice Deegan, the linesman there from County Laois.
Marty, who are the names that we should watch out for? Who are the genuine stars in this team?
Well, the big star this summer, Quarters, was Kieran Donaghy. And Kieran Donaghy is going to be wearing number 9. And if he goes into the full forward line, and if they pump the ball in high, it's going to be a very interesting test between your boys and our lads.
He was an Irish basketball. He played basketball for Ireland, and he's only 22, and there's some talk that perhaps a few AFL scouts might be interested in him.
Really? Well, I feel he has the potential, and he's a very nice guy, but totally committed to his sport. International basketball player.
6'5".
6'5", and as you say, you've done your research, my old partner here. He's 22, and basically his transfer to the full forward line changed the championship here in Ireland this year. And when he moved in full forward, Ireland scored 12 goals in 8 games.
Bad turnover here.
Irish have it once more. Graham Geraghty, one of the most stylish footballers that we have, from the Royal County of Meath. Blonde bombshell, they call him, up in Centralstown in County Meath, just a county that has a great rivalry with Dublin. And he was in a bit of controversy a couple of years ago over in Australia over some comments that was passed. But it doesn't matter now, because the Irish love him. There's the first score of the game. And over for the Irish, that should give them a 3 points advantage.
It does just that. So nice start. Australia been very defensively orientated the first 4.5 minutes of the game, but it's only early days. They're finding their feet. Fletcher, the Essendon veteran, kicks to the lead to Crowley on the wing, but again it's a turnover, much to the delight of this sellout crowd. It's an Ireland ball. Here's Kennelly, camped underneath it. Australia get it back, but not for long. Smother. Now it's inside Australia's attacking up. Here's Hall. Hard at it. Big bump, rides the bump. Well, good stuff from the Ireland defence. That's a free kick, though, and Hall didn't like the treatment. Now, what's happening here? Hall's got it, has he? Yes, he has, as he kicks it. There's a loose man in the forward line. Oh, bounces over the head. Here's a chance for Voss. Decided not to go for goal. To Lappin. Lappin shoots for an over and misses just the behind.
Well, as I was saying, there's a great love affair between the Irish fans and Hall, and I guarantee you, if he does nothing, only catch the ball once, there'll be a big cheer here.
Michael Voss is a legend in our game, Marty. He's retired from AFL, but he's playing 2 final games representing his country for the first time. And this is the second last time we'll ever see the great Michael Voss in an official game of football.
Wow.
Great mark taken by Brendan Goddard, the man who, as I said, has impressed during training, but his kick, give a guy a rap, he'll let you down every time he's turned it over.
Kieran McGuinney coming away from Ireland as Ireland go into the attack for the first, second, third time perhaps. Sean Kavanagh giving it inside. This is a good move by Ireland. The referee says play on. Should come back for as Dustin Fletcher doesn't bother to gather it, just drives it along. That should be a sideline ball over this side right here in front of us for Ireland, and Ty Kennelly going to gather. Once it was decided that this game was being played here in Pearse Stadium in Galway for the first time since 1984, a test to be played outside of Croke Park. The tickets went just like wildfire.
Yeah, and Croke Park's sold out now too, so we're heading for a record crowd of, what, about 80,000?
82,000.
Amazing stuff. Australia dicing with death again. They're maintaining possession in defence. Goddard will have to be good here. Loses the ball.
Paul Galvin doing all the hard work. Here's Graham Geraghty showing nice touch, nice effort, dropping it in, and Fletcher is there again for the Australians.
That was a nice save from Dustin Fletcher as Sam Fisher brings the ball out. To half back. Here's Aaron Davey. It's an Ireland ball.
Bit of a brave effort from way out there, and not a good decision. I just get the sense, Quarters, that the Australians are finding it hard to deal first with the greasy ball and, of course, the fact that there's a round ball as well. And you have a lot of newcomers to this particular game.
Yes, it's a 25-man squad, and 18 of the 25 are rookies. That's a big turnover, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a lot.
And a lot of the players have commented to me during the week that, you know, it's the kicking of the round ball that provides most of the problems.
And even the Irish are finding it hard when the ball is hit long. Nice ball inside. There's a chance here as the Irish combine. An effort that is going far. Let's see it behind. That looks like Alan Brogan that got that. And that's another point for the Irish. It's 4 points to 1.
We saw Australia just come out of the blocks last year, scoring 100 points in the match, which is a record for these two teams. It's certainly very, very defensive in the opening quarter here. The quarters, by the way, are 4 times 18 minutes, so reduced this year to 72. The game's been cut down somewhat, and there is time on for injuries and blood rules, etc. Fisher puts it forward. There's Hall and Voss. Cleverly keep possession. It's Moyles.
Kieran Fitzgerald is number 11, and he's a local boy from Corrafin in County Galway. And as you can see, the Irish are trying to use their goalkeeper from last year's experience that the Australians taught them. Here's Ty Kennelly trying to step by the challenge of an Australian player. It goes far as the number 5. That's Alan Brogan. That's great run by Brogan, and that is a behind for 1 point. A little bit of soccer skills. By the way, Graham Geraghty, long time ago, about 7-8 years ago, had a trial with Arsenal Football Club, where at the time there was a lot of Irish, kind of moved with Roy Keane to Manchester United, but Dave O'Leary, Frank Stapleton, all these guys played with Arsenal, and Graham eventually came back and played with his own county of Meath, stuck with the GA.
So another turnover here favouring the Irish, slightly more composed early in the game. Short pass finds Brogan.
The Irish building from the back. Surprisingly go for a long ball here.
Oh, great courageous mark there from Gilby. That was terrific stuff. Running back with a flight of the ball. It's something we've become used to in the AFL competition. Players with great courage. Ryan O'Keefe's kick off the side of the boot. How have you seen it early, Marty? You've seen a lot more games than I have. Any general concerns early for Australia?
Well, I think their ball handling is a little bit disappointing. I thought that they're finding it difficult to cope. They need to try and get possession first time and then give it long. I think the long ball will cause problems for the Irish.
Good linking play here. Chance Bateman, the half forward, finds Aaron Davey. He's about 36 metres from goal. Leads on from Hall. It's a beautiful kick. And the man they call in Australia, big, bad, bustling Barry Hall. Marty has got this shot for goal directly in front, and this for best opportunity for Australia's first over, which is worth 3 points.
Interestingly enough, he was calling for that ball a long, long time before
Hall
it arrived.
has nailed it. For an over.
Valuable 3 points.
So it just steadies the ship somewhat. 7 plays for. There's the Fanatics, who travel the world.
Really?
Going to every sporting event that Australia are involved with. There's about 50 of them here. They've been terrorising the pubs over the last few days, apparently.
I did not realise how many Australians are in Ireland until I was working at the World Cup here in Ireland, and I had to cover the Australian angle as Australia were playing Italy. And I have to say, I loved it, and it was so heartbreaking for them to lose to Italy. Anyway, back to this game. Here comes the Irish. Graham Geraghty getting the ball, laying it off nicely. Whereas Ty Kennelly goes for the score. It's curling, and it's over the bar. A superb over by Ty Kennelly from Listowel in North County Kerry. A star in Ireland, a star in your country as well, Quarters.
That was some sort of kick under pressure.
He's a superb athlete. All-Ireland minor medalist, played in under-21 All-Ireland final as well. He's just a class act.
So Ireland by 6. And it's getting pretty chilly here, as you can see.
Like Crocodile Dundee would say,
yeah.
That's not chilly.
No, you probably. I guess they're all telling me it's quite balmy tonight, so
It's a beautiful night.
take your word for it. No more whinging about the weather. Pearce. Here's Kate Simpson, the young Carlton player. Just goes for the soccer. And Ireland get it back. Oh, Barry Hall off the ball. Puts down Fitzgerald, who gets up very gingerly.
Meanwhile, play continues. Here's Alan Brogan. He has the support of Stephen McDonald. Can't score from here. Lobs it in and sends it over the bar for another over.
Now Barry Hall's getting a talking to at the other end of the ground.
Nice play here by Ireland. They continued on. They focused on the ball despite Kieran Fitzgerald getting hit. And it's another 3-pointers.
So Australia under pressure here in the opening quarter of game number 1 in this International Rules Series. Chance Bateman sweeps the handball out to Selwood. The West Coast Eagle kicks in the direction of Pearce, but too much on it. Overcooked the kick, and Ireland win it back again. And here's Ty Kennelly, just slowing things down.
I just feel that the Australians are giving a ball away far too easy for their own good. And the Irish boys are finding it, well, they're in control, particularly half back line and midfield.
Yeah, just having real trouble at the moment, aren't they, controlling the round ball.
Nice interplay again between Tom Kelly, Alan Brogan. Chance here. Easy ball for goalkeeper Dustin Fletcher from Paul Barden from Longford.
Here's Brent Stanton. The bomber over the top to Simpson. There's Australia run the ball out of defence. Stanton again. Paul's got to beat 2. And he was sandwiched in between and he's given away a free kick. Umpire Pat McInerney from Ireland straight onto that one.
Yes, I think there was just a little push as the ball was arriving.
Yep.
So the Irish have it once more and go forward with Alan Brogan taking it past midfield. As the Irish build slowly. 2 against 2 here. No mark given. But despite severe pressure, that is sent over.
Well, I know it's only early days, Marty, but as we near quarter time, this lead is starting to become a bit of a concern for the Aussies.
Well, Paul Barden is a prolific scorer in Gaelic football, and this is a big game for him. His first international, did well under severe pressure, and 16 points to 4. So I think from the Irish point of view, they're doing very well at midfield and half backline, but the Australians are a bit slow here. They need to get the ball up fast, or else run it at a faster pace. It's too slow.
Stanton over to Rains, who can run the ball pretty quickly. Now there's a free kick here. It's going Australia's way. It was slung in the tackle. You're allowed to tackle them with 2 arms, but as soon as the ball's released, You must let them go, otherwise there's no slinging or driving them into the ground. That's a free kick.
And it has to be between the hip and the shoulder.
Sherman over the top to Stanton. Australia need a couple of overs here. Simpson sold the dummy beautifully. Runs to 45. Short to McDonald. Taps it over to Davis. Simpson runs into trouble. Tries to get it to Bateman. Bang! A big collision here. Voss getting back to his all with strength. Over to Davis, whose kick falls short. And it's marked by the keeper, Alan Quirk, for Ireland, who gets things moving pretty quickly.
Kieran Fitzgerald. But you can see there that, again, what I'm saying about the Australians, they're too slow because they need to move that ball a lot faster. They're not exposing the Irish, and they need to put it out to the wings as well, because much of their channeling is down the middle. This is Tom Kelly laying it back for Alan Brogan. He's doing a roving commission. In other words, he's playing it wing forward, but almost in the Irish half-back line. Nice ball up for Stephen McDonald from Armagh. Made an impression a few seasons ago in this international series. Dustin Fletcher safe under the crossbar, and the Aussies have it once more.
They've got a loose man here, they can work it. John Cock, who's on for a bit of a run. Over to Rains. To McDonald. Now Sherman along the wing, goes deep towards Bateman. Again, overcooks the kick. And they are having all sorts of trouble at the moment, the Australians, with this round ball. It's heavier than an Aussie rules football. It's heavier than a soccer ball.
Yes. Graham Geraghty we're watching there. He's obviously, there's an interchange after happening. But yes, you're absolutely right, Quarters. I think this is the problem from midfield up, and they need to possibly target Barry Hall and put him in where we would call full forward. In other words, dead straight in front of the goalpost. That's where the problems will arise. But they haven't done it yet.
So a minute to go in the first quarter. Here's the Irish Army captain, Alan Quirk, playing goalkeeper.
He had a great season, actually. Probably going to be an all-star, your equivalent of an all-Australia.
Great tackle on Campbell Brown. Umpire said it was pinned to his chest. What's happening here? The siren's sounding, but it was 4 times 18 minutes, I understood.
Correct,
it to be.
So it is.
The siren's been going since the 17-minute mark.
Well, I think
it sounds like it's stuck.
I think it is stuck there.
I thought it was some sort of one minute warning that there was a minute to go, but it's been going since the 17-minute mark, and now it's quarter time, but basically we've just been robbed of a minute of play.
Absolutely. Either that or he's gone to the pub. I don't know which, but anyway, it does sound as if it's stuck. And I know that they had problems with the lights here earlier, but obviously they have a problem with the gong as well.
We're going to take a break from Pearce Stadium at Galway. It's quarter time, and it's a very handy lead to Ireland. They lead Australia 16 points to 6. So quarter time here at Pearce Stadium at Galway. Now there's some sort of confusion about the score, Marty. It was 16-4, but there's some talk that Matthew Lappin's 1 point, it might in fact have been an over. So we're not sure whether it is 16-4 or 16-6 as I called right on quarter time. So we're still trying to sort that out with the officials.
Well, I thought you were right, I have to say, but there is definite confusion. The scoreboard is still saying 16-6, but
here we go. Okay, so they've just recorrected it. So Lappin's kick was in fact a behind.
Yes.
So it is 16-4 at quarter time, and a very, very handy lead to the Irish. And well, right now the Australians are in just a spot above them, Marty. Long time to go, but they're just not handling the conditions all that well.
No, and I mean, it is difficult here. It mightn't look at down in Australia, but it is a chilly night. But apart from that, most importantly is there's a strong breeze favouring the Irish in the first quarter, facing the Australians. Sometimes it's better to play against the breeze, but it's the greasy surface. There's been heavy rain, and that ball is skidding like a bar of soap. And the fact that it's round and the Australians aren't used to it, put the two together and you have serious problems. But I wouldn't rule them out.
No, far from it. Long way to go. And the one thing about the Australians is they are as fit as. They've really worked hard here the last week. Trained really hard, been very disciplined. Not here for a junket, that's for sure. And Stanton puts Australia into attack, and it's a good mark taken by Simpson. They would have been given a nice rev up by Kevin Sheedy at quarter time. It's a high ball deep into attack. Almost a mark to Australia, but not quite. As Ireland now clear, they've got the ball deep in defence.
Tom McKelly is back there for Ireland, and also there is Kieran Donaghy laying it back as the Irish try to force that ball up into the Australian half of the field. And you can see the Irish are opening it a little bit, and that's a very good effort. Fletcher, under a little bit of pressure, watched it all the way, did well.
We've still got the trouble with the siren too, Marty. It's still, it's still going. Oh dear. Anyway, I think it's been sorted out now as Simpson marks in the midfield for Australia. Short. Over to Selwood. Now Stanton. Nice build-up here by the Aussies. Chance Bateman, a Hawk, takes the mark. Over to Sherman. Exciting young talent for Brisbane. His kick misses the target in O'Keefe, and Ireland win it back.
I think that there's a free in here.
A free kick going to Australia. It's going to be taken by Lappin.
I think they're slightly confused between retaining possession and giving the ball long and taking that chance. If I was an Australian coach, I'd be telling them, give it long, because you've got the physique, you've got the ability to win all of those kind of balls.
Now Lappin has kicked it over. So a valuable three-pointer to Australia. I believe that free kick was in fact... Oh, there's a fight down the other end, bit of a dust-up down the other end. Just keeping an eye on that. But I believe that was because the Irish player took possession, Marty, when he was on hands, and he's got to knock it on. You can't take possession unless you're on your 2 feet.
Correct.
And that was the reason for that free kick. There's a bit of a push and shove down the other end, deep in Ireland's attacking half, but that seems to be sorted out. So 16 plays 7.
While the game is continuing on, Pat McEnany, the Irish referee, has had a word with all the players involved in that little bit of a dust-up. Sean Kavanagh takes the free and opts for the long delivery. Well gathered by Benny Coulter, made an impression both in Melbourne and in Perth last year. Paul Galvin dropping this one in. It's a good effort as well. Nobody can quite connect.
That was Donaghy's big chance to impress.
Yeah, I think the tactic will be to put Donaghy in right in front of the Australian goals long term. I think he was put in midfield with Barry Hall initially, but I don't think it'll last that long.
Now, this is the tactic Australia worked last year, and the umpire's not going to allow it. This is the rule. This is a controversial rule change, I understand, that occurred about 2 hours before the game. Much to the Australians' surprise and dismay, Marty.
Well,
but it has happened before. It's gone the other way too.
And it has worked very well. And the Australians started it, and I thought it was a good idea.
They're not happy that it's been changed, I can tell you that. As Australia work it forward, Justin Sherman kicks around the body, looks for Hall, who spoils. John Cock gets it down to Crowley, who goes for the over, but just falls a bit short. And it's marked safely by Alan Quirk, the keeper, who, as I said a bit earlier, is an Irish Army captain, and he's mucked that one up. But luckily...
Barry Hall had just couldn't control it. Kieran McGeeney picked it up, and the Irish have it once more. And you can see, like what the Australians did last year, the Irish are bringing out the keeper as much as possible, but it's not really working for them so far. Bad slice of the kick, the sideline ball to the Australians.
So who's going to take this one? It is going to be Sherman. Kicks in the direction of Stanton, but unsuccessfully. Ireland got the numbers here. Oh, clever little back heel. John Cock was onto it though, but couldn't take possession. And Ireland get it back.
This is Aidan O'Mahony, and McGeeney and Graham Geraghty did very well there. But again, that long ball is not working that well either for the Irish. As Paul Galvin came through.
Just starting to look a little bit more composed in the second term, Australia.
This is Ty Kennelly. Taking it on soccer style, runs out of space, however, and that should be a sideline ball to the visitors.
There he is, Ty Kennelly, as the ball comes back. And that's going to be taken for Australia by Daniel Pearce, a rising star of 2006. He's another who's impressed. Now, there's the coach, Sean Boylan. I've got some questions to ask you about the coach too, Marty, when we get a bit of a break.
I knew this was coming.
He's married a nun.
Yes, a former nun, and he got married late in life as well. I think he was around 50, and he's now 64, and he's 6 children.
He's got 6 kids from the age of 50. As Aaron Davey kicks a good over, and Australia, as I said, looking much better early in this second quarter. We'll continue that conversation another time. I wanted to ask some questions, Marty, but Australia's starting to look a little bit better as Aaron Davey, nice skills. And the man they call the Flash has put it through for another over for Australia. So it's back to just 6 points of difference. Ireland 16, Australia 10.
Aaron Davey was part of the squad last year,
Yes, he
wasn't he?
was.
And I remember him in Melbourne in particular. He's quite impressive. The Irish have it once more. Here's Graham Geraghty looking around for a little bit of space and options. Goes for the long ball, but it's easy for Dustin Fletcher.
And Australia work it out nicely. It's Campbell Brown. Drives it to half forward.
Here, McGeeney here.
Only as far as the captain McGeeney.
McGeeney is an inspirational figure, and there was a lot of controversy last year, Quarters, when he wasn't part of the squad. And he's back in it despite the fact that he's 35 years of age over the last couple of weeks.
Free kick going Ireland's way again. I think that's for the rule that you've got to take possession when you're on your feet. And consequently, it's a free kick going Ireland's way. They lead by 6.
Alan Brogan taking the free. To Geraghty.
Loose, isn't he, up forward?
Colin Begley, Brisbane Lions. I'm sure you know him rather well.
Just starting to. He's had a couple of opportunities in the season 2006. It was a good opportunity this year for him because Brisbane were decimated by injury, so he got his chance and he's had a taste.
Good effort here, right under the crossbar, and Fletcher did well to touch it away. And the Australians almost had possession. Here's Graham Geraghty knocking it forward. Fires Alan Brogan. Meath and Dublin combination here. Difficult enough angle, dropping this in. It's added to by Ty Kennelly, and that looks like a behind, I think. And a one-pointer for the Irish.
Fletcher's doing well, isn't he, in goal for Australia? Marty, doing an excellent job.
There's Kevin Sheedy. I did interviews last year with him, and I must say I'm mad about him. I think he's a rare character.
Well, it's a bit like Sean Boylan. They're both. Boylan's got a Sheedy-like record. He's been coaching for over 20 years. He's won 4 premierships, hasn't he, with 4 different teams, and very similar career path to Kevin Sheedy. Well, I don't think Kevin's got the 6 kids and didn't marry a nun.
Yeah, I think Boylan gets top of the class for that one. That point, by the way, wasn't given. There was an infringement which referee Pat McEnany spotted. So there's a chance here for Ireland to possibly get at least 1 point out of it. And that is what has happened off the boot of Stephen McDonnell.
So Ireland lead by 7 as Fletcher wastes no time. This is Pearce. Oh, nice skills. Got it back to Crowley, who's forced to soccer it off the ground. Good hard play by Voss. Oh, that was great stuff. Now it comes over to Sherman. Kicks a high ball. Lappin waited behind and just couldn't snare the footy. So Australia going to get it back though. Sherman doing some nice work in the midfield. He really is a good young talent. And Australia have a chance here through Ryan O'Keefe for an over. He's going to be kicking from about, only about, what, 25 metres out?
About that.
30 metres.
That's the 20-metre line there.
Yep. So O'Keefe for the over. Just the point. Nevertheless, the Aussies starting to find their feet. But it's Ireland leading by 6.
And I think they're playing with far greater pace as well. The ball is going in faster, and that's the way, in terms of the Irish, how to expose them, because the greasy surface is bad for them as well.
In 2 minds, Quirk. Now there's a bit of a dust-up off the ball. There's Lindsay Gilbey's involved for Australia.
Graham Geraghty for the Irish. And it's the Irish that are going forward here. There's a chance. Begley. It's an over. Three points for Ireland. And off the ball, it's a number 13 that was involved from an Irish perspective. And the referee being informed, and indeed the runner as well. But it was a wonderful move here by Ireland, and Laois's Colin Begley, Brisbane Lions player, putting that one for a 3-pointer.
He wasn't too happy with something, Lindsay Gilbey. He got, I think he was complaining he got a bit of treatment off the ball, but it seems to have all been sorted out now. So Ireland by 9. Rains has got the ball. Out to Selwood. And he's been busy celebrating a premiership for West Coast. It's a poor kick. And it goes straight down the throat.
Anthony Moyles.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a new and upcoming star in the county of Meath. That's Sean Boylan's own county. And he's making his international debut. He's the nephew of Mayo great Tom Langan. And he was a talented hurler as well. But this is a big step up for Anthony.
The keepers aren't shy getting out of their territory, are they?
Well, it was you guys taught us this last year. And I'm sure that Sean Boylan, having looked at the video of last year, said, Alan Quirk, get out there as quickly as you can. And the Irish in danger of exposing this Australian defence, but Australia did very well, and they retain and regain possession.
Silly play from Benny Coulter. And in comes Simpson and has a go. Coulter, hello, here we go. Now it'll be interesting to see if the Irish stand up here if anything untoward happens. But it's all sorted out nicely, and that's good to see. There's Gilby, who was a little bit hot under the collar a couple of minutes ago, drives it deep into attack. Aaron Davey, he's got the pace here, but he held on to his opponent, and it's a free kick going to Ireland.
Yeah, it's the fast ball again. I know I keep saying it, but it is the one that the Australians should be using. Tom Kelly here, laying it back fires Mark O'Shea, who's one of the 7 interchange players. That's a good ball. Kerry and Dublin, great rivalry here in Ireland, but there's a pass between one Kerry player to a Dublin player, Alan Brogan, son of former Dublin great Bernard Brogan. Good mark called by Paul Barden, and he'll be looking to see if anything can be done from this angle. Well within his range, but he is 45 metres out, so he may well wait for the run from one of his colleagues. Looks like he's going for it, dropping high, very high into the square. Could come back first, Fletcher, but the Australians are alert.
Kate Simpson just at the vital moment, got his hand on the ball there. Pearce got dragged down. Umpire let that go. The referee let it go, I should say.
Roland Clark here. Well, you see, in fairness, you know, even the Irish guys finding it difficult with this greasy surface to deal with it.
Fletcher bangs it into the middle. Gilby, collision here. Both men stood their ground well. Here's Bateman. He got bowled over too. Good hip and shoulder. Good stuff from the Irish. There's a Simpson. There's a few tempers starting to fray out there.
Aidan O'Mahony is the 22 for Ireland from Rathmore in County Kerry. Fabulous player. One man of the match in the All-Ireland final. But certainly he can give it, but he can take it. And here's O'Mahony once more. Goes for that long delivery, aiming at a full forward line. That certainly the Australians are doing well inside there, and they come away with it.
Yes, O'Keefe kicks it out to Voss. The 6-time All-Australian, the 5-time best and fairest winner, the Brownlow medalist, playing his second last game of competitive footy. O'Keefe over to Davey. He's going to go for the over. He changed his mind. Back to Voss. Kicks it deep into attack. Well played, Ireland, as they win back the ball.
Here's Paul Barden from Longford playing a very deep role that I haven't seen him play like that before, not for his own county or indeed club. But the Australians with that long ball losing out, and here's a chance for Ireland. Sean Kavanagh bearing down in goal. Can he finish? And Fletcher saves. Should have been a goal, but credit the Australian goalkeeper getting down quickly.
That is a big moment in this match. Dustin Fletcher left very vulnerable there, and I agree with you, it should have been a goal, but Fletcher kicked it straight into Fletcher, who did a terrific job, and that is great work from the Australian captain. Now Sherman, right in the back pocket, if you like, and just gained some territory for his team.
There's at least one mad Irishman here. Happy that the home side are doing so well in the early second quarter here. And again, the Australians are beginning to get control in the half back line and full back line, and once they deliver the ball long, they're very, very much in this game.
Barry Hall comfortably breaks the tackle. Now he's off. Handball's over to John Cock. He's got some good skills as he goes for the over, but again the ball falls short. And easy here for Ireland as they clear. Hall just tackled his opponent, but he released in time. Good pressure from the Australian forwards though. Here's Barden. And that's good work from the Australians.
Absolutely. Good pressure.
It's taken by Selwood.
It's an Australian ball, but I prefer the second quarter from an Australian perspective than I did the first. They're beginning to settle.
Nevertheless, it's the Irish by a pretty healthy buffer of 9 points. Selwood. Over to Sherman. Back to Lappin, who just takes the diving mark. Too far out to score. It's a good kick, though. We'll find Stanton. Be pretty good from here, Marty, to convert from here.
A bit optimistic, he should run it.
Yeah, he went to Lappin, and
it's unfortunate now. But they've also got to learn that if they're going to go, they're better off even if they drive it wide from our perspective. Well, with the points, with the goalpost so wide, not to be giving it into the Irish goalkeeper because it's giving possession away and then they have to go back. So they'd be better off to kill it and try and put it over or behind rather than into the keeper. I'm not too sure this is a good move by Ireland in terms of Alan Quirke delivering long high balls. When you have a player of the quality of Barry Hall in midfield, it seems to me a bit stupid, to be honest.
Range with great pace. Draws the player, now dishes over to Stanton. Stanton looks for Hall. Bateman's also there. Here's Hall, pushed in the back. Umpire said play on. Didn't call it the umpire, Marty. It's the referee at the moment, but you know what I mean. O'Keefe for the over. And gets it.
That was looking very dangerous from an Irish perspective, and that again, I like the way the Australians are playing at the moment. They've settled, and the long ball, I again would play Barry Hall inside in this area here in front of the goals, because everything that goes into him, he'll win.
Nice snap from Ryan O'Keefe. There's the Fanatics watch on.
The Irish have it. Ty Kimellick goes for the ball into space. A lot of pulling and dragging, but the referee, Pat McEnany, claims that it was the Irish that were fouling, Ronan Clark, and the ball unable to be controlled by the Australian. It means possession is given away.
Yeah, Goddard slipped over just at the crucial moment.
Yeah. Comes back first, Paul Bart calls for the mark. Well capable of scoring here. Again, the run is made quickly. I'm not too sure the runner expected to get the pass, but they gain an extra couple of meters, and it means that the free taker here, who's Alan Brogan, is well capable of scoring from this distance. Has a shot, going for a behind, and that's 1 point to Ireland.
So 7-point margin. We're near quarter time. In fact, we're right on quarter time. And that's a better second quarter from the Aussies. Just started to find their feet, but it is Ireland in front at half-time. 21 plays 14. How did you see it?
Well, I think the Australians had a bad opening first quarter because I think they found the ball and the surface difficult to deal with. I think they've come to terms with it. Long ball in, faster pace. The Australians are very much in contention here.
A half-time break here at Pearce Stadium, Galway. A sellout crowd tonight, excellent conditions. Australia fighting back at half-time. Ireland 21, Australia 14. As the Australians make their way out for the second half here in the opening game of the 2006 International Rules Series. They fought back nicely in the second quarter. They outscored Ireland 10 points to 5 to claw their way back into this contest. It's Ireland leading at the main break 21-14. But the sign's much better for Australia after what was a very tentative opening. I've got to say, Marty Morrissey, my co-commentator, a very tentative opening from both teams. And I think that might have reflected what happened last year with the controversial series. And both teams obviously have been spoken to by officials to take things easily in that area. And perhaps it affected the style of play.
Yeah, I think it probably has diluted the passion and the intensity a small bit.
Not so much the passion, but maybe just the intensity of the game.
Yeah, and I think that's understandable because both the AFL and the GAA are very anxious that there is an international dimension to their game. This is it. You can see in Australia, I saw it myself when I was down under last year in Perth and Melbourne, the response was fantastic. And I remember, I think it was 2 years ago when the Australians beat the Irish in Perth, in the Subiaco, like the singing afterwards. I mean, it meant an awful lot to the people in Australia. Here, you can see this is the first time since 1984 it's come to outside Croke Park. This is a sellout, almost 35,000 people. And I think that the Irish have been told, and the Australians the same, calm down, pull back. And I think that has actually affected the game itself.
Yeah. Now, we've had plenty of action at half-time, it would be fair to say, Marty. We started with the wave, which is okay. We usually think the wave, so that's all right. And then we had an appearance from Superman. What did you think of Superman?
Superman was quite good, and he has the same colours as what is known as our band here, the Artane band. We didn't know whether he was one of them or not, or whether he just flown in. But there was a great response.
Then we had a special visit. Have you ever heard of a man called Warwick Capper?
No.
Well, he used to play for the Sydney Swans in the 1980s. He was very famous for wearing very tight shorts and having a mullet.
Ah.
Well, we had a Warwick Capper impersonator. He was next on the ground, and he's actually shown his face at several football functions. He was, in fact, on Channel 10 on Grand Final Day. So Warwick Capper made an appearance. And then we had a streaker. Now, I would have thought it's just slightly a bit cold for a streaker, Marty.
Not at all. I mean, this is a nice, quiet, calm kind of a day. I mean, normally when I do matches here, there is gale force 22 coming in over the Atlantic, over the Burn. You can't see it now because it's obviously dark, but we are facing the famous Burn, which is a unique landscape in all the world in North County Clare. And when it comes in here, I can assure you it would freeze, well, your socks off. Let me put it like that.
Certain parts of the anatomy anyway.
And this time, this guy came on a streaker and he got a huge crowd. But I know there's a fine in Australia. In Ireland, it's almost say, hey, well done, Charlie, you did very well.
So we're ready to go for the third quarter with Ireland leading 21 points to 14. And things just getting a little bit feisty as we start this third quarter. Little spot fires breaking out in certain parts of the ground. So both teams have come out fired up. There's a whistle on play here, and the referee has awarded a free kick. And it is going Australia's way. And it is going to be taken by Nick Davis. So a chance here. Davis is well within range. He'll only be kicked from about 30 metres out as this siren continues to blare. And a chance here to narrow the margin even further. And Davis, who is a very skillful player, makes no mistake. And Marty, that is a terrific start to the Australian cause in the third quarter.
You can see the more experienced players in this game, like Nick Davis. He made a huge impact. I was really impressed with him in Perth and in Melbourne last year. And just his kicking is more relaxed. There's more of a flow. There's a greater balance. And look at the game now, 21-17. Interesting, just a little tactic. The Irish are trying to do what they call the nutmeg over here. They gather in a little diamond, and then as Alan Kirk takes the kick out, they spread out in the hope of exposing the Australians.
Well, it is getting a bit feisty out there. I've got to say, there's quite a little bit of one-on-one gamesmanship going on at the moment. A bit of pushing and shoving at both ends of the ground. There's Selwood. He's involved at the moment with his opponent. Fletcher comes in to have a bit of a chat with Dermot Earley, of course, a famous name in Gaelic, both in Australia and in Ireland. Paul Earley played the game for Melbourne back in the 80s.
Correct.
Hall flies high, couldn't take the grab.
Goes off an Australian, so it's going to be a kick out for Ireland. Dermot Earley, and
he's in the Irish Army too, isn't he?
He is indeed, absolutely. It was an amazing decision last year that he wasn't playing, because he was on tour with the Irish Defence Forces in Australia. So there was a bit of controversy here, a little bit of complaining the fact that he didn't participate in the games, mainly because
would the Army have released him?
Oh, they would have. Oh, absolutely. They would be delighted to see one of their stars playing. But Pete McGrath, the Irish manager last year, didn't select him.
And the ball's gone missing.
Well, we've had a dog, we've had a ball missing, we've had a streaker, we've had everything here in Galway. Now what we want is a real exciting finish.
I want to get back to the coach, or the manager, Sean Boylan. So he had his first kid at what, 45?
47, 48, I think.
He's got 6 of them.
And now, yes.
With a nun.
With a former nun, yes. A lovely lady called Tina.
Oh.
And she makes the best brown bread in all of Ireland. I can vouch for that.
For lost time, you can say that.
Slow to start, but once he got going, he was fine.
Oh, did he what?
This is Jim Steins. You know him obviously well, but he's a big name here in Ireland as well, and I think Brian is involved in the background
Brian's
as well.
Involved as well, yes. Might surprise you, I've actually had a beer with them this week.
Really?
Yes. And Paul Earley as well, among about 1,000 others.
Ah, good. You get into the Irish way of life. We've no closing time here.
Didn't take me long, I've got to say, Marty. The ball goes into the middle. Lappin's held it out. Umpire said play on.
Benny Coulter here made an impression last year. Tries to chip it back, doesn't work. Sideline ball to Australia.
Yeah, Lappin's got it. Waste no time. Finds Schneider. Gives it to Rains, who's been impressive. Lost his footing. got to knock it away. A little bit of soccer play by the Irish, they get it back.
Nice ball in from Graham Geraghty. Chance here of a three-pointer. He goes for it. It's high. And the crowd behind the goals indicate that it is 1 point.
Well, we've got a tight ball game now as Fletcher is off. Played a terrific game. Finds Lappin. His experience is showing out too here, Lappin. To the wing and Hall. Good tussling has been with Hall, his opponent. Now Sherman lost his footing, got up, did the right thing, soccer off the ground, but the Irish get it back.
Colin Begley here, sending it in long, in towards Dermot Earley, who's been introduced at half-time. A lot of complaining here, as I mentioned earlier. This is the player number 10 that we're talking about, but didn't participate last year. His father is a great footballer, Dermot Earley, played with Roscommon. Going for the score.
That's a great kick, isn't it?
That's an over.
Yeah.
3 points.
Great kick. That's where they have the big advantage, isn't it?
Yes. That safety and the knowledge that you know what the ball is all about and the shape of it, you're happy and contented with it.
Fletcher bravely runs away. Want to make sure he uses the ball well. To O'Keefe, and that'll be an Australian ball. Bit of holding there too from his Irish
Aidan
opponent.
O'Mahony.
And Ryan O'Keefe gathers possession for Australia. Hall provides the lead and can't take the mark. It was a difficult one. Recovers now. Good tackle by Kennelly. His Sydney teammate, John Cock. Have to be good here. Shows great skill. Oh, McDonald gets poleaxed. And the umpire's awarded a free kick as things get a little bit willing. That's what we like to see. Good, hard, friendly stuff. Oh, hello. The Irish players push the umpire. That's not on. And it's going to be a McDonald free kick.
I think you're looking forward to a good row.
Me? Oh. Only in good spirit.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Kick towards Hall, who takes a ripping mark in front of goal. He's only 20 metres out, and this should be, I'll say, an easy over. Nothing so easy in this game, but so Hall should convert, and he does. Well done, Barry Hall. Did that nicely. And a little bit of niggle again. This game is starting to warm up nicely, Marty, as we enter third quarter.
And once you get into the flow of the game and the intensity comes back into it, I think you'll see a lot more of this. And there is a lot more shoving and handbag stuff here, but this is wonderful skill here by Barry Hall. Wonderful.
Always got to play in front. That's what we say in the Australian game, and it paid handsome dividends there.
Yes. Race for Graham Geraghty here. Did well to flick it back, but the Australians have it, and you can see some more.
A couple of undisciplined acts in this third term from Ireland, Marty. Another dust up here. Aaron Davey involved.
Kevin Riley from County Meath making his international debut. He won a Sigerson Cup, which is the university's big championship. It's a huge event here in Ireland with DCU.
And hello, is there a yellow card coming here? There's a yellow card. Who's been set off? But both have been set off. Aaron Davey has been sent off, and his Irish counterpart has been set off, both for 15 minutes for, well, I wouldn't call it fighting, but certainly a lot of pushing and shoving. Aaron Davey not happy, but both men can be replaced. As Lappin for Australia has the ball as he works it forward. Goes long. Well, here's a chance for O'Keefe. He's all by himself. He can go on here. No, he's thought about kicking a goal, but he'll go back now and kick a simple over. And I'll tell you what, the Australians have just rattled the Irish the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, and that long ball strategy is working.
So Ryan O'Keefe from point-blank range has kicked another over. Yes, he has. And now it is just 2 points of difference. Ireland 25, Australia 23.
We've got the biggest names in Aussie music and chart-topping guests from all over the planet.
Come along, children. Now we're going to have a little music.
We've got the Arias, 7:30 tonight on 10.
You know what? There's an easier way to remove the red from eyes. Murine Clear Eyes removes red fast and brightens eyes for up to 8 hours.
When I think back to the 70s, it's always summer, I'm hanging with my friends, and the perfect song is on the radio.
Sky rockets in flight, afternoon delight.
Time Life presents Gold, an amazing music collection that will take you back to those wonderful days of flared jeans, platform heels, and fun times. Start your collection now by calling 1300 360 399 to order your first gold double CD, Superstars of the 70s, featuring 30 classic tracks. Pay by credit card and you'll also receive another double CD, 1975, free.
Ho, 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 it's magic. You know, lost gone.
But that's not all. Call within the next 10 minutes and we'll cut $10 off the price. Pay by credit card and you'll also receive a second double CD free. That's 60 immortal hits for only $19.95.
I heard my mama cry. I heard her pray the night Chicago died.
Then audition other gold albums. There's no minimum to buy. Cancel anytime. Satisfaction guaranteed.
Finally, we have a collection that captures all the fun, all the variety, and all the excitement of 70s music.
Call 1300 360 399 within the next 10 minutes to start your gold collection for only $19.95. Pay by credit card and you'll also receive a second CD free. That's almost $60 value for only $19.95. Call 1300 360 399 now.
It's gonna be red.
Hot, spicy, exotic. New skin-free Portuguese pieces from Red Rooster. For freshly grilled marinated chicken that's nowhere near as naughty as it tastes, it's got to be red.
You're going to take Sky's baby from the hospital, is that right?
It's the week that no Neighbours fan can miss.
One more push.
And if you think the drama ends here, you're dead wrong.
Where's my baby?
Unmissable Neighbours, 6:30 weeknights.
Again, you look at the fellas who played last year in Melbourne and Perth, like Ryan O'Keefe.
This is for the send-off. And that was not quite a fight, but it wasn't far away.
It wasn't very far away at all.
The Irishman was Armani, so they've been going at it for about 5 minutes, those two. But if you get a yellow card, you can be replaced. Red
Correct.
card, you're off for the rest of the game and no replacement now.
Well, this is what happened last year when a player was sent off. He was replaced by another player.
Chris Johnson, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a wonderful catch and a mark here by Tyke Kennelly. Nice ball fires Dermot Early. Thinking about having a go from way out the field. Seemed to lose his balance because he was challenged perfectly legally. And that's gone wide. That's about 5 wides, I make it, for Ireland in this international test.
So right now, Marty, the Irish just seem to be in a spot of bother. Australia fighting back. What do Ireland need to do to try and change things again?
Well, they need to start getting control here. That long ball is going to cause them problems, as I mentioned. So they need possibly to bring back another player from the forward line as an extra man in front of the long ball into Ryan O'Keefe or Barry Hall and work the ball up. The long ball won't work for Ireland because the Australians will be better physically, faster to a high ball. So it's kind of two tactics working against each other. Let's see what works out the best. Nice ball. Graham Geraghty unable to control it. Gathers it second time, making space. Flicks it outside. There's a chance for Ireland.
Oh.
Saved brilliantly by Dustin Fletcher for the second time.
That is unbelievable, Dustin Fletcher. That is 2 magnificent saves. And the skipper for Australia is leading from the front. Dustin Fletcher, that was unbelievable.
Just watch this. Stephen McDonnell is here. He's a brilliant goal scorer. Fletcher was magnificent. Stood his ground. The first save by Sean Kavanagh in the first half might have been a bit of a dubious decision by Kavanagh, but full credit this time to Fletcher.
Well, it's Ireland still in front. Schneider chips it to Gilby. Just misses the target. Ireland get it back. Can they make amends here?
Graham Geraghty once more. Flicking it back as Tom Kelly. Geraghty released the possession, but the possession went to Australia.
Oh,
rolls it along the surface. Again, Geraghty involved here off the ball. And it's
Lindsay Gilby over the ear, and Gilby didn't like the treatment. But Gilby might be the man penalised here because he's the one that was retaliated. But the umpire, I think, the referee have let it go. That is excellent refereeing.
Well spotted by the referee as well to have a word with both players.
Yeah, that was really well done by the referee, the Irish referee, and Pat McInerney, as Australia have possession. O'Keefe shrugs the tackle, probably a little bit too easily, as he kicks another long ball. It's going to be deep. The goalkeeper, Quirk, Alan Quirk, does it very nicely for Ireland.
There's a good safe pair of hands and very dependable under that high ball. Alan Brogan calls for the mark and gets it. There's Colin Begley. The referee says that the ball was over the line, I think, over the far side. And Shane McInerney, the Australian referee, penalising Alan Brogan. So the possession is to Australia. Let's see here. Seem to pick the ball off the ground, but that's allowed. Not too sure why that decision was made, but it's Australia in the attack.
Sherman got leg, got to be a free kick. And no advantage paid there, so Justin Sherman was legged. And he's a real exciting young talent for the Brisbane Lions. He's a third cousin to Ricky Ponting, an Australian cricket captain. Tough young man, and his kick goes to Lappin, who's playing an excellent game for Australia. One of the just 7 players to have represented his country before in this code. And Matthew Lappin is going to have a ping for an over. It's close. Oh,
well gathered.
Good mark, right on the line.
Ty Kennelly, right under the crossbar.
His Aussie rules experience there, didn't he? Saved probably a goal there, didn't he?
He did. It was a dangerous ball. It's the one that most goalkeepers dread. The one just at that joint between the post and the crossbar. Again, kicking the ball away long doesn't work for Ireland. They should be running it from their own defence.
Lappin again to Rains. Here's O'Keefe. Here's a chance. O'Keefe, side off the ground. A great save. Another great save by Quirk. Now Davis for the over has got it, but what a great performance from Alan Quirk. 2 great saves, but in the end, weight of numbers, one out for Australia, and it is an over to Nick Davis. And they get it back again, the Aussies. 26 apiece. Chance Bateman squares it up. There's a chance for Pearce for another over. He's off target, but Australia, for the first time in this match, are in front, Marty.
Full credit to Australia, but again, you see when they use the ball at pace and use the long ball, it does expose Ireland. And Alan Quirk, the goalkeeper, who has really performed very well, not alone here, but right throughout the season, has saved Ireland's blushes. Let's just watch this again, because Quirk was exposed. There's one save. Here comes the second one. Fantastic goalkeeping by Alan Quirk from Cork.
Great stuff. This really is hotting up now as Australia lead by a point.
Here comes Colin Begley, the middle of the park, has to lay it off. Unfortunately, unable to be controlled by Joe Bergen, and possession falls back to the Australians.
Yeah, they're winning plenty of the ball now, Australia, as Pearce kicks it long. O'Keefe's there for Australia, so is O'Mahony. Is it O'Mahony? No, it's not. Yes, it is.
Yes, that's Aidan O'Mahony. Ratmore and Kerry.
There's Quirk, switches play, and Ireland are away. Oh, clever.
Oh, very nice footwork by Mark O'Shea. Plays corner back for Kerry. Going to be tackled here, has to deliver it. Gives it. But again, because of the tackling coming in, the possession was given away. Should have been just distributed a little bit better.
Lappin kicks to Hall, who works his way to the front, and that is just strength. True grit, that one. You like that one, mate?
I like that one. I really do like Barry Hall, I have to say.
And it was a clever kick too to Simpson, who's on a bit of a roll here. Builds up some pace, kicks long, and O'Keefe just can't get there. But a nice build-up for Australia.
Well, when you consider their first quarter, the Australians have found their rhythm at last.
Yeah.
And look, that's to be expected. They've travelled a long distance, and it takes a while for the first 18 minutes to sort yourself out.
There's Michael Voss to Barry Hall. Oh, McDonald dropped the handball. It was a hot footy. Now Hall again, butters up. Well played by Barry Hall. Chips around the corner, and again Australia maintain possession. This is Schneider. Kicks to Simpson.
Did well.
He's doing a good job, Kate Simpson. Kicks. Deep into attack. O'Keefe is there. Desperate Irish defence. Ball spills out to McGeady, the skipper. And what's happened here is another blue on. Nick Davis. And looks like it's going to be an Ireland free kick.
Kieran McGeady involved here with Nick Davis. a little bit of afters once the ball had been kicked by McGeeney.
I've got to say, the refereeing's been excellent.
Yes, it has. It's been by both the officials. They've really been fair. And so much so that we really haven't had anything to say negative about them. So well done. Here comes Paul Barden. The intention was to find out Alan Brogan, but the interception provided by the Australian midfield area. Ball should be released.
Pearce receives the handball from Voss. Daniel Pearce. O'Keefe. Here's a chance for a goal. Davis back to O'Keefe. Sensational stuff from the Australians. Oh, beautifully worked. Nick Davis and Ryan O'Keefe, and the Irish crowd are stunned.
Well, can I say, maybe they're listening to us on the pitch, because that long ball is the cure for the Australians. It was a long ball that came in. Ireland were exposed. Bang. Back of the net. Australia lead by 7 points.
And Ryan O'Keefe is really rattling up the points now. He's got a behind 2 overs and a goal for a total of 13 points.
That was a superb catch by O'Keefe. O'Keefe is a class act. Along with Barry Hall and Lappin, these are the players that are guiding Australia to this victory, a potential victory. But certainly you'd say the game, the power, the pendulum has switched to Australia now.
Sydney Swans contributing very well in this game. They've scored 25 points for the Australians.
Really?
And I think Ty Cannelli's managed a goal too. I haven't got he has. So the Swans are having an outstanding night.
Stephen McDonnell here, pumping it forward. Lack of confusion. Ty Cannelli and Ronan Clark not calling. And it means that Australia have possession once more. Ireland working so hard. Kieran McGeeney looking like a 16-year-old, not a 35-year-old. Sean Boylan, Ireland manager, a little bit concerned as Ireland have to run at it. Alan Brogan laying it off. Far as Ronan Clark, who flicks this in. It comes back outside, but Australia defensively look very much in control. The challenge and the tackle. Both players get up off the field, and it's won back superbly by Ireland, showing a lot of guts, a lot of determination. And the 35,000 crowd in Pearse Stadium in Galway in the west of Ireland respond to that sort of character.
Boy, they needed that, didn't they?
Absolutely.
So the Irish responding as Crowley gets it to Pearce, back to Crowley. The Fremantle Dockers, a good kick. Ryan O'Keefe is absolutely dominating up forward, keeps his feet. Ireland get numbers back. O'Keefe's not done with yet, but Quirk's up to the task. And Ireland retain possession.
This is Colin Begley. Ireland have to step up the tempo to get back into the game. Here's Sean Kavanagh. Had a goal opportunity in the first half. Australia look a little bit exposed, but the poor handling by Joe Bergen gives the Australians time to recover and get back behind the ball. The free going to be taken inside the Australian 45. Going to be taken by one of the local boys here, Joe Bergen from Mount Bellion. Just about 12 miles outside Galway City. The hooter sounds, but Joe Bergen going to take this free himself. It's swinging too much to the right and swinging wide.
So another quarter win for Australia, and they now, right at this stage, look the likely victors. They are leading by 4 points, courtesy of that sensational Ryan O'Keefe goal, who, as I said, has contributed 13 points in this match so far. So at three-quarter time, it's Australia 33, leading Ireland 29.
This is it, Australia.
The Thank God finale is on the horizon and bigger than ever before.
Tell us, what do you see?
I see the funny lines I couldn't think of earlier.
With only 2 episodes left, you won't believe the surprises we've got in store.
We've come up with some real beauties.
7:30 Wednesday, you can expect anything with special guests Matthew Newton,
Joe Stanley,
Glenn Robbins,
and first-timer Merrick Watts.
Thank God you're here. 7:30 Wednesday.
Sometimes, to get what you want, you need some words of experience. Which is where we come in. So what is it you want?
It's gonna be
Spicy, exotic. New skin-free Portuguese pieces from Red Rooster. For freshly grilled marinated chicken that's nowhere near as naughty as it tastes, it's got to be red.
Beat the heat forever. Harvey Norman's huge 4-day air conditioning sale is on now. All stock must sell. LG, Airwell, Toshiba, Mitsubishi, Panasonic, Samsung, Dimplex, DeLonghi, Kelvinator and more. All the top brands, huge range, including inverter split systems with unbelievable savings. Get Harvey Norman's expert advice, plus we stack on the benefits. Bonus 2-year extended warranty. Plus, buy now on 18 months interest-free terms. This is your best chance to beat the heat forever. Prices can only go one way from here. Get into Harvey Norman's huge 4-day air conditioning sale and save. But hurry, must end this weekend.
There's no feeling like M3 Power. Press the button and feel the power. Introducing M3 Power Nitro, the battery-powered shaving system from Gillette. M3 Power with a bold new look. Turn it on. Nothing shaves better. Feel the power of Gillette's closest, most comfortable shave. M3 Power Nitro from Gillette.
Build me, build me, build me.
This is the AI2, a highly advanced intelligent robot. It's easy to build and even easier to control. Just program it using the LCD screen, then maneuver it with your TV remote.
Set me free, set me free.
Each piece is $2 with a token in the advertiser and Sunday mail. Get your first token and free activity mat this Sunday. AI2, you're in control.
Wanna bet?
Now the big Aussie 6 game's about power with economy and performance with control, where safety, reliability and the environment all matter. Toyota Orion V6. Make your move.
So three-quarter time in game number 1 of the 2006 International Rules Series, and there's the Ireland camp. They're in trouble now. It's only 4 points of difference, but Australia with all the momentum. Fantastic third term for the Aussies. They kicked 19 points to 8, and they lead now by 4 points, 33-29. Ryan O'Keefe is the star with 13 points. That great goal, the first goal of the series. Marty Morrissey, that was one of the great highlights.
Absolutely. I mean, players like Lappin, Barry Hall, Nick Davis and Ryan O'Keefe. These are the players with that little bit of extra touch, extra class, and the goal was just vintage Australia, came from a long ball, brilliant finish.
And I've got to say that there has been some good individual performances from both teams, but to me the other highlight has been the fantastic keeping from both Dustin Fletcher and Alan Quirk. They've been outstanding in goal.
Absolutely. Dustin Fletcher's first save, I would be a little bit more critical of the kicker because he really should have punished him, but he hit it straight at him. The second save in the next quarter from Stevie McDonald was superb because he had to advance and he was right on him. But the two double saves by Alan Quirk, the first save was an average save, but the second one, the reflex save to get back down, was class, and it shows you why Alan Quirk, I feel, that in November 24th, when the All-Stars are announced, that he will be the All-Star goalkeeper for Irish football this season.
So ready for a start to the final quarter with Australia in front. Nice piece of ruck work there from Barry Hall. Ireland, though, still well in the contest. It's only 4 points of difference. Australia leading 33-29 after that fantastic third quarter by the Aussies.
Almost well taken. Comes from Colin Begley.
But Ireland get possession, but not for long, as Lappin, who's been one of the stars for Australia this evening, has the ball at half-back. Short kick finds Stanton. Brent Stanton hasn't had a lot of game time tonight. Goes back to Lappin. Australia now just maintaining possession. Selwood's been good. Goes for a bit of a trot, draws the player, pops it over the top to Rains, who's got great acceleration, as you saw there, Marty.
Yeah, Roland Clark couldn't get to him.
Clever play by Stanton, slapped it over to Brown. Brown to McDonald. McDonald to Crowley. Good teamwork here from the Aussies. Pearce, and it is going to be an Ireland ball.
Number 17 for Ireland quarters is a guy called Sean Marty Lockhart. He's playing in his 15th international.
Which is a record for either team, yeah.
Absolutely. Aidan O'Mahony gives it back for us Alan Quirk, who has certainly kept Ireland very much in this game. could do nothing at all about the Australian goal. And Sean Kavanagh and company will have to play a little bit faster than this. They're trailing, and this is the last quarter.
Lappin, that was a really difficult one to mark, and it is going to be an Irish ball as it came off Lappin. So a chance here for Ireland. They're only down by 4. As I said, this series is decided on aggregate. As we see Lindsay Gilby there with a bit of patching on the head. Now, this series is decided by aggregate, so what we don't want is a blowout like we had in the first game last year.
Yeah. Graham Geraghty looking for somebody to make a diagonal run. It wasn't happening, so they're going for the long ball. Not too sure if this is going to work, but Dustin Fletcher is underneath it. Goes off his hands, and that's for a 1-pointer, a behind, and Ireland get a little bit closer. 3 points between the teams.
Lappin kicks a long ball. Simpson. Oh, breaks the tackle. Well played by Cade Simpson. Didn't lose his composure. As Australia drive it forward through Stanton. It's a good kick. But again, Alan Quirk more than up to the task as Barry Hall was bearing down on him. And it relieves the pressure for Ireland off the hands of Ty Kennelly, and Australia win the ball back through McDonald. The keeping, as we said at three-quarter time, has been outstanding from both Alan Quirk and Dustin Fletcher. McDonald.
Ball given away.
Yeah, poor kick.
Here comes Aidan O'Mahony. Alan Brogan. And Mahoney follows through and get a warm round of applause from the home crowd. Not a great ball, although it was down the middle. Defensively easy for the Australians.
They went to a pre-season camp in France, the Irish. How is their fitness, Marty? Are they up to scratch when you compare it to the professionals of Australia?
Well, this is always an issue of debate because of the amateur status of the GA players. Here's a good effort.
Brent Stanton just misses the target and scores a behind. So have they somewhat over the years drawn a bit closer to Australia fitness-wise?
They have. I mean, you know, it's a debate because we now have an organisation called the GPA, which is the Gaelic Players Association, who are demanding that players who are in jobs, some of these are teachers, carpenters, doctors, bricklayers, you've got a whole mixture here. And, you know, it's basically for fun that they do this while the Australians do it for a livelihood.
Pearce, a long centering kick, Hall underneath it again. He busts open the pack. Chance Bateman off the ground. No, he picks it up instead. Bateman for a goal. No! Handball to Michael Voss, and it was saved right on the line. It was a close call for the Irish there.
Very close call. This is, you know, the Australians really have the initiative. They have the momentum. They've done very well here. Alan Quirk had to come out. It was just a touch, and it was a brilliant save by Mark O'Shea right on the goal line.
Well done, Ireland. But it's 5 points the difference in favour of the Aussies as the Irish work it forward, but not for long. That was a bit of a, yes, a little bit of a cheap shot. Selwood didn't like the treatment. And it's a yellow card, is it? Yes, it is. So there was a bit of an errant elbow there, and the man being sent off is Geraghty. And,
well, it's nothing new for Graham to be in the wars. He's a good footballer, but inclined, he's well able to give the physical and take it to his credit. But if I can contrast the two, Australians should use the long ball, Ireland should not, because it just doesn't work. They have to run at the Australians and use their close ball skills if they're going to win it.
The Irish, yeah. So Lindsay Gilby, who had a bit of a stoush in the third quarter, wearing some bandaging on the head, but he's okay. Selwood's been good. Kicks to Bateman, couldn't take the mark. Irish get it back.
Kieran McGeeney is back there for the Irish side, as well as Tom Kelly. Lays it off. Oh, the hit arrived rather late on Mark O'Shea, but he gives it to his fellow Kerryman, and away comes Mark O'Shea.
Oh, well done, Lappin. Well done, Lappin. Read it beautifully. He's been one of the best players on the ground tonight. Matthew Lappin to half forward to Stanton, to O'Keefe, who's kicked 13 points in this match. He thought about dishing it off, but he really, from this position, should go back and have a shot. And, well, could make it an 8-point buffer. Ryan O'Keefe has kicked the over.
Some play for fun.
But some play to the death.
They got the idea from the game. Somebody's playing for real.
What do they have to do
before it's game over?
SVU, 8:30 Monday.
For over 4 decades, the Big Aussie 6 game has been the same. But the Toyota Orion V6 means that game's just changed forever. Make your move.
Hundreds of Australian products are taking on the world and winning, which says a lot about their competitiveness, their value and their quality. The product symbol of Australia is well known here, and now in partnership with the federal government, it's being promoted in export markets around the world. Become part of this great campaign. Australian made. Global quality.
Questions asked when I'm generally at the service desk, and the most common I would say is, have you seen my husband? I've lost him in the store somewhere.
10 kilo pull brake, $37.63. 4-stroke petrol lawnmower, $298. Cabot's natural decking oil, $49. Pedestal fan, $14.94. If you happen to find a cheaper price on a stocked item, we'll beat it by 10%.
That's probably the most common.
Bunnings Warehouse! Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Now the Big Aussie 6 game's about power with economy and performance with control, where safety, reliability and the environment all matter. Toyota Orion V6. Make your move.
Oh my God. 9:30 Monday. What has changed to get the Biggest Losers out of their comfort zone?
Oh my God! This challenge is so difficult.
It's a brand new Biggest Loser, 9:30 Monday on 10.
So he is having an outstanding night, Ryan O'Keefe. He's up to 16 points for the match. And Australia lead by 8. So concerns now for Ireland. They don't want to see it creep past 10 because that will make it very tough in the match at Dublin to make a contest of the series.
Absolutely, and you know, slowing it down like this, it needs to be quick and fast. And gaining little or no ground doesn't benefit the Irish. Alan Brogan is a wonderful forward, but look at where he is.
And he's in big trouble.
This is poor play by Ireland, and their cage is rattled.
They are under pressure. O'Keefe for another over. It's a good kick, but it just missed. And he is up to 17 points.
Having some game. 9 points difference.
They are really rattled at the moment, aren't they?
They are. And they have a problem at midfield and their half-back line. And when they do run forward, you know, they need to be kicking the ball into space, not down the middle.
Since quarter time, it's been 35-14.
Oh, really? That's a fair gap, and it's reflected. It's only that score reflects the superiority that the Australians have slowly gradually progressed to. Sean Kavanagh here. It's going to be a sideline ball to Ireland. Tom Kelly happy to go back far as Alan Quirk and start the process from deep inside their own half of the field. Kelly to McGeeney. Hops for it long again. Ty Kennelly knocked away from him, but it is a sideline ball to Ireland.
Clever.
Ships it up quickly.
That was clever.
Very clever play by Ty Kennelly for Sean Kavanagh, bearing down on goal. Happy to have a pop from there, and that's a three-pointer. Over for Ireland, and Ireland get a little bit closer. It all started with the quick thinking of Ty Kennelly when that ball was a sideline ball, didn't bother to grab it, chipped it up.
On the hop, didn't?
Absolutely. That's what I mean. They need to play at that pace and to open it up as much as possible. Kennelly goes again, gathers it, second time round, looks for a crossfield ball and gathers it. This is better play by Ireland. Kieran Fitzgerald lays it off. Not a great ball, but still, Stevie McDonald has it. Difficult enough angle. The crowd at the far side respond. That is a fabulous score. Wonderful points by Stevie McDonald.
Well, they have responded, the Irish. 2 quick overs, and all of a sudden the margin is back to 3. Just when we were about to write them off. And Ty Kennelly is the man in the last couple of minutes that has got Ireland back into the match. And listen to the crowd starting to find some voice. The match will go 72 minutes. So plenty of time left. As Australia only finds himself with a 3-point lead in there. Dicing with death a little bit there as they kicked it across the face, but Fletcher just steadies things down to Lappin, who's had plenty of the ball. And his kick finds Stanton. Stanton to Gilby. It's been a really good even performance from the Aussies. Davis helped O'Keefe in that goal in the 3rd term. Here's a chance for Sherman. Kicks into the pocket. Beautifully done. Oh, and O'Keefe. That was pretty crude. And that'll be 15 metres, I would have thought.
Well, Aidan O'Mahony was the player that arrived in a little bit late, and Aidan could well be shown a yellow card here, but cleverly enough, he's walking away. But Barry Hall is letting him know, I saw you, mate, do that. So don't do it again.
No, so Ryan O'Keefe, he's got 17 points. He's got all Australia's score in this quarter so far. He's got an over and a point. Oh, and he's missed from point-blank range. That is a bad miss. But we can't be too critical on Ryan O'Keefe tonight. 18 points is his contribution. Australia lead by 4.
He was impressive again last year. I thought he was outstanding in Australia. 4 points between the teams, and Kieran McGeeney's about to be challenged. Ball runs along kindly to Paul Galvin from Fanoog in North County Kerry. Needs to deliver quickly. Colin Begley looks for that ball, looping ball inside. Could work out fine for Ireland. Comes back off the post, but it's wide. Some poor decision making inside there, particularly by Joe Bergen. And Ireland need to maximise every time they win possession. They have to maximise it now.
A couple of kicks to himself from Brent Stanton, taking a bit of a risk there, but did it well. That is not easy. Good to see he's taking on the game in all shapes and forms there. It is a skill you usually only see perfected by the Irish lads. Gilby's also been excellent. Good, clever kick to Hall. Now Barry Hall, he's got options everywhere, but it just overcooked the kick to John Cock. He'll have another go at it. Barry Hall misses. McDonald slaps it back to Davey. Davey for the over. It's a wild kick. It's deep in there. O'Keefe's there, so is Davis. Well done by the keeper. Quirk again, but Australia had the numbers. Simpson went without it. Has another chance on his wrong side. Now the left inside out kick across the face. And that will be an Irish ball. They're still alive, Ireland. They're only down by 4.
And that little sequence of play emphasises to me that if Ireland put the pressure on the Australians, that close ball control is lacking in the Australian psyche, obviously, because of the 2 different games.
6 minutes to go. Schneider. And that'll be an Australia ball.
Irish signals get mixed up between Sean Kavanagh and Sean Marty Lockhart, Tyrone and Derry players.
There's Sean Boylan, the Irish manager, watching on. Still with a chance. Now, since quarter time, it's been a domination by Australia.
It's great running.
It was a clever kick, and that is hard discipline running from Campbell Brown, who bangs into the Irish player in McGeeney, the skipper. Great leadership. Brown didn't like it. Umpire says play on as Australia win it back again. Picked up by Stanton. The kick was a little bit ambitious, but again, it's the Aussies with the extra number. McDonald got pushed over, but cleverly tapped to Schneider. Got it back to McDonald. Now it's Australia's turn to be challenged. John Cock got it back to McDonald again. Now Schneider looks for options. Adam Schneider goes short. Again, a little bit ambitious, and Ireland get it back. Now here's a big chance.
Sean Marty Lockhart lays it back as Ireland now try and open up this Australian defence. Stevie McDonald goes for the long ball. Unfortunately, from an Australian perspective, they can't control it.
Loose man here, Marty.
They look for the long ball inside. Great effort. There's a chance. Wonderful mark called by Joe Bergen, who created a space. The vision at the far side was superb, and Ireland have a chance at least of a 3-pointer.
He's a local boy, isn't he?
He is, from Mount Bellew, just out the road. Galway footballer.
Well, this, if he kicks and over will make it just a 1-point ball game with about 4 minutes to go.
Joe Bergen, who's under 21 All-Ireland winning captain, came back from injury last season and puts this over. It's 3 points for Ireland and 1 point between the two countries.
Yes, great fight back in the last 5 minutes by Ireland. It was started by Ty Kennelly. And now the Aussies are challenged. Have they got enough juice left in the tank? A long trip over. For some, it took about 35 hours with a hiccup at the airport.
Really?
Yes. That's another story we don't want to go into right now, Marty. Still a touchy subject. Have Australia got enough juice left? They've worked hard all week. They really have been disciplined. They've trained twice a day plus some. And they lead by a point.
Two Sydney Swans players there.
Rains to McDonald. Great handball. Gee, Stanton's been good in this last quarter. But again, just a little bit over ambitious, and he's turned it over.
Good work by Riley. Better play by Ireland, but the distribution is poor.
Well done by John Cock. Kicks into the pocket. Good Irish defence. That was good hard stuff. It is an Australian ball to be taken by Nick Davis.
Aidan O'Mahony making his international debut here for Ireland, doing very well.
Australia hanging on by a point. O'Keefe got to be best on ground just about. Would you agree?
I would agree, absolutely. I think Ryan O'Keefe has been superb. As has been my favourite Barry Hall.
Yes. The Rock. This is just about sealed the issue, but...
Alan Quirk did very well because another goalkeeper would have stayed in his line.
Kicks through off the side of the boot from O'Keefe. Still Australia in front with just over 2 minutes to go. And Australia have possession. Barry Hall.
Ireland have it. McGeeney lays it off. Can Ireland come and clinch this first test? Taken down. Referee says no foul, and it's going to be a sideline ball to Australia.
Simpson. And he's being told by his teammate to slow it down. There you go. So they're in front by a point. As I said, this series is decided on aggregate, but you still want to get the win.
Sure, absolutely. And that's good strategy from Australia to retain possession, play out the time at this late stage.
No matter what happens now, though, Marty, we've got a series on our hands.
Absolutely.
Unlike last year, which was well and truly over. So Australia just chewing up the clock a bit. The locals don't like it.
No. Well, we'd do the same thing, to be honest with you, if we were 1 point up.
Schneider. Oh, that's a dodgy old kick. This might have opened up a bit for Ireland. Selwood. He's been good. Won it back for the Aussies. Almost full time. There's a minute to go, but it's a terrible turnover. Here's a chance for Ireland to hit the lead.
Can they score the winner? It's over! Wonderful play by Ireland. And they possibly have sneaked victory in the final seconds of this game. Ireland 42, Australia 40. Stevie McDonald looks to be the hero, and Ireland have possession here. Australia rocked. There's a chance to wrap it up. He's going for the goal. He's got it! Joe Bergen from County Galway. Australia are beaten in the final moments of this first test in the series that has captured the imagination of Ireland, captured the imagination of Australia. Here comes Bergen, cracked it home past Dustin Fletcher, could do nothing about it. Wonderful strike. Ireland 48, Australia 40.
Well, it was 39-30. And in the last 2 minutes, Ireland have just gone berserk and they're going to win this match. What an amazing 2 minutes.
And just a short time ago, it looked like Australia were 8 points in front, and we said, in fact, that we didn't want it to go beyond 10.
They've scored 18 of the last 19 points. And that is it. Ireland have come from nowhere in the last 2 minutes of this game to pinch victory.
Wonderful scenes here in Galway.
Amazing stuff, and look at the crowd. They're pouring onto the ground, and Ireland have won by 8 points. 48-40, but the most important thing is we have a series on our hands.
Most definitely, and you can see when it's played with that intensity that was lacking possibly in the first two quarters because of what happened last year. It was forgotten in the throes and the emotion of where victory was at stake. Looked like Australia had it. They were playing down time. Bang, bang, bang. Ireland come through. Amazing finish.
Was that the mistake they made, Marty, in the last 3 or 4 minutes? Did they try and chew up the clock too much and they went defensive?
Absolutely, and I mean, what they should have done is put that ball down into the Ireland goal and stay down there. Put the pressure down there. They started playing a short ball back here inside their own half of the field. They don't have the close ball skills to be able to do that, where they should have just literally punted it down into the Irish goal mouth and kept it down there.
Yep.
Big mistake by the Australians, but to be fair, the Irish came back brilliantly. Great composure by Bergen because he was facing a big man like Dustin Fletcher, and to crack it home under that pressure was truly marvellous.
Well, what an amazing couple of minutes. We're all in a bit of shock, but 48-40 was the final score.
But when you consider this particular game, and when you consider that a one goal is worth 6 points, it's only a goal and two behinds, nothing.
We're going to hear from Sean Boylan.
The atmosphere here now, and that last quarter, wasn't that much more like it?
I tell you, when you saw what the Irish crowd could do tonight, they're going to got behind the boys in a huge way. What a great team performance, powerful Australian team, very, very hard to get a victory, but thanks to the God we got in the end.
Well done, Sean. Best of luck in the next game.
Thank you. Well done, Sean.
An amazing last 5 minutes. Did you think you had it won?
Not necessarily. Sort of game goes up pretty quick. You sort of don't really get a lot of time to look at the clock, and because it's not such a long pitch, you know, the ball can get down the other end pretty quickly. And I think we sort of went into a bit of tempo mode, but you know, maybe we went a little bit too early, and we thought we had it, but we had a few opportunities there, and then sort of halfway through that last quarter, and we just couldn't quite nail them and put them away.
How did you find the whole experience tonight? It was extraordinary atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, it was, with all the hooting of the horns and everything like that. It's something that we're not used to, but I guess the boys took a while to adjust to the conditions in the game, but the second and third quarter I thought we played really well, got ourselves back in the game, and it's just a matter of now carrying that momentum we have in the second and third quarter into next week, and yeah, getting on top and getting over them by 8 points.
AFL teams ice the clock every week. Is that the right way to go, you thought, at the end?
Well, we're not too sure. We don't know really how to play the game, and we thought that was the way to go, but I guess our kicking skills aren't up to their skills, and we got to make sure probably that we push the ball forward and kick it down the line, and just try and clog up the time.
You can still win this series?
Oh, definitely. I think from our second and third quarter we showed that we can get on top of them, and you know, it's only 8 points, so we'll look forward to next week, and hopefully we can do it for Australia.
So an extraordinary finish to what was an amazing night here at Pearce Stadium in Galway. The Australians disappointed, but the most important thing is that this series is still well and truly alive. And we'll do it all again next Monday morning Australian time in front of what will be a record sellout crowd at Croke Park in Dublin, in excess of 82,000. It's going to be a fantastic finish to this series. As I said, Australia's still well and truly alive, and we'll see you then. On behalf of the team here in Galway, it's goodbye.
He loves that inside out. It's another over for Australia, it is. It's a goal! Just love it. Oh no, when he kicked it. Gilby from the 20. He's on big time again.
They absolutely wiped the Irish.
The 2006 International Rules Series, proudly brought to you by our broadcast partners. Harvey Norman, there's a store near you. The Bundy Fine Form Awards, Bundaberg Rum applauds fine form. M3 Power Nitro from Gillette. And Primus Telecom, broadband internet the easy way.
Making news, controversial cleric Sheikh Al-Halali says he's confident a meeting of Muslim leaders tonight won't force him to stand down. schools to be paid to employ chaplains under a $90 million federal government scheme. An official hacked to death as street violence in Bangladesh spirals out of control. And Carly unveils a stunning new look. 10 News.
Do you want to pay for sport you've always watched for free? Do you want your children to have to pay or just miss out?
Mark Scape's victory.
The right to free sport on TV is under attack. The greatest Australian sporting achievements should be free for all Australians to see, not just those who can afford pay TV.
For more information, visit savemysport.com.au.
It's too good to lose.
Authorised by Network 10 Sydney. The World Rally Championship, proudly brought to you by Pedder's 28-point steering and suspension safety check.
Insane, these roads, and I just love them. They're so fast and narrow, and you just want to go faster than anyone else.
You really enjoy going on those tests. They're so fast, there's massive jumps. Very, very slippery, but it's much drier this year than last year.
You get to the end of a stage and you see your name there as the fastest guy, and you think of all these people here watching. It's just a great feeling.
Always to come here, it's one of the best rallies.
I want to beat Marcus, and that's the only thing I can say.
Langley Park on the shores of the Swan River has been transformed into a multi-million-dollar motorsport show. Beautiful weather here in Perth over the past 2 days. The Bureau's expecting a top of 24 today. A little overcast right now, and crews are hoping the traditional afternoon.
Why did they disallow the other one? We'll have to leave that one behind. The two teenagers, Hunt and Inglis, have provided 3 tries between them tonight. Inglis gets one on debut. Good on the young bloke.
It was fantastic play here. They worked down that left-hand edge where they've had great success. And it was just a matter of the right players making the right decisions, and Jonathan Thurston's been making them all night. If you ask me, Jonathan Thurston and Carmichael Hunt have been near best on ground. And guys, 2 guys that haven't had a great deal of football at the back end of the season have come back in great touch. And this bloke here, well, he is a freak. He got the try that he probably should have got earlier. A wonderful athlete.
And that's more of the football that they should have been playing, I believe, in this second half. They could have run up a big number here on New Zealand. We've got a lot of work to do if they want to compete with this. So this is a very, very good Australian team. This back line is bristling with talent. Jonathan Thurston, after a long layoff and only a couple of half games, has come back in fine form.
He's a player that can talk his side around the park, as you like to put it. Gusser is developing into one. Cameron Smith and Darren Lockyer both have great feel for the game. But this bloke here we're seeing just about to take the shot for goal. He knows how to win football matches.
He's dangerous himself too. He likes to make himself dangerous, which is a big asset to everyone around him, because there will be opportunities come from that. His goal kick has been superb. Puts a big hook on the ball. I don't like the hook he does, but he seems to hook it back to the right position.
Looking for his 3rd sideline conversion of the night. That time too much hook to the left-hand side. He's kicked 5 from 6. And it's 30 points to 12 with 3 minutes remaining. Game 1's going to go to the Kangaroos, and we start to focus on next week. Down in Melbourne at the Telstra Dome. There was that tackle, Manu Vatavai on Carmichael Hunt. Remember those ones? It was on debut when Carmichael Hunt got cleaned up by Francis Melly. The first game we saw him
2 years ago at Suncorp. And Frank Pritchard's got him last game. He's tough.
Stacey Jones kicks down to Carmichael. Willie Mason with the ball. And back there at Hallertau. Mentioned the blokes on debut, 9 of them on debut, so O'Donnell's gone to the bench. Hindmarsh, well may he smile tonight. But I really do think the 9 players on debut have done more than just a competent job tonight. Some of them have been real stars. Here's Hodges, he's been one of them. Goes out here to Rennie Matua. And Rennie Matua had the left arm free, looking for the inside man. 15 metres inside the Kangaroos half. Andrew Ryan with the ball. Runs up there at Azatazi. Rennie Matua's in a bit of trouble now for the Kangaroos. Alfie Langer, trainer of the Australian side. Again, our thanks to the crew here, Sky Sports New Zealand. They're providing the pictures tonight. Smith, switch of play. Thurston gets it out flat. Inglis away down that left side. Tries to kick back in field. I think it came off his shin. Then it's kicked back from Ryan. Fielded there by Inglis. Play on for the Kangaroos. Out it comes for Lockyer. Lockyer with the ball. Kept it alive. Good stuff by Smith. He turns and passes. Out for King. That's called forward. And it was the last tackle, so a changeover. As all of that unfolded, Rennie Matua's being assisted from the field for the Kangaroos.
That would be a shame if it was a big injury to him, because he's been outstanding tonight. He's been very, very good.
His only other, his rep debut he made in City Country, he suffered a nasty injury as well. It was up at Lismore. That was an unhappy end that night. Now the ball is with Soliola for the Kiwis. 41 metres away from the line. Tupou. Back to centre field. Wiki kept it on for Jones. Jones then away. Through the gap goes Hallertau. Their support inside. He got away from Hunt. King's there to make the tackle. King makes the tackle on Dean Hallertau. 9 metres from the line. Webb with it. Floats it over the top. Manu Vatuvei scores for the Kiwis. The beast gets over it again. They check it with a video ref.
We'll be looking at the corner post here and whether or not a hand landed dead in goal before he put the ball down. Looks okay at first glance. No problem, that'll be a try.
Jasnier getting across where he scored a try in the first half. Mannering was the player making the challenge. This will be a try to Manu Vatuvei. It'll also be the last attacking play of the match.
They've had their moments in this game, the Kiwis. They've come up with some line breaks in the second half. I haven't really been impressed with Australia's second half. I thought they were a little lethargic. The scoreboard affected the intensity of their play. We get the green light on this one. The Kiwis in a huddle, already talking about next week's game. Thinking, okay, well, it wasn't so good tonight, but maybe they're encouraged by some things that have happened. Maybe encouraged a bit by their second 40 minutes. Hallertau at hooker. Well, they'll have Modu Tony back next week to assist in that dummy half role. Speculator out of dummy half found Vatuvei. He was too strong. King was out of position. He'd gone in to make the try-saving tackle on the initial break from Hallertau, so it was up to Gasnier to defend the winger. Couldn't get across in time. Stacey Jones with a kick from out wide will be the last play of the game. It's only early in the series. New Zealand have got some massive improvement in them now.
And Jones to finish off the night bangs one over from the sideline, so we're left with a full-time score of 30 points to 18, 5 tries to 3 in the opening game of the Tri Nations here at Mount Smart Stadium.
Do you believe in Bigfoot? Jules goes in search of the myth.
Plus, all you need to know about the new Hong Kong Getaway, Thursday 7:30, followed by Jules' new show Big Questions on 9.
The lifestyle DVD-based home entertainment system from Bose. So intelligent that it adapts its performance to any environment, stores your CDs, learns your music preferences, responds to your mood, and controls music throughout your entire home. Expand the music you enjoy in up to 14 additional rooms, both indoors and out. Listen to what you want, where you want. It's time to expect more from home theatre.
Blackwood Sound, the home of Bose in Adelaide.
The scent of seduction, the burning flame of desire, l'homme, a fragrance for spring.
I love you, long. Money, it may make the world go round, but holding on to your money can make your head spin too. Sometimes it just seems to disappear by itself. But whether you have a little or a lot, it's easier than you think to take control. A few simple things done regularly can make a real difference. So put yourself in charge. Visit australia.gov.au or phone 1800 236 235 for a free handbook. Understanding money pays off. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Me, I love to travel. I love to visit new places. But sometimes I get lost. I have a terrible sense of direction. And no matter how politely I ask for help... Excuse me, could you tell me where... Oh, sorry. No, I'm not really like that, honest. Just tell me where I am.
Life's simpler with directions on your mobile. Optus 3G.
Yeah. Looks like paradise. They don't know it's going to be hell.
Move that big fat...
Come on! They're overweight and out of shape. Push! Deborah Hutton presents Overhaul soon on 9.
And Thurston comes again to make the tackle. Quick play the ball. Away goes Vangana. He turned them around. Nigel Vangana gets in goal for New Zealand and will be held up. Referee flying right there and wants to send it up to the video referee. Pace that time. Is that a touch? Does it hit the grass?
That was the way the Kiwis kicked off their scoring. It was a little bit dicey, though. Nigel Vangana's tried. Just quickly, your verdict. It was given, of course, but what do you think?
I don't want to start another underarm delivery controversy. Let's give him a try, Shiro.
And what about you, Brian?
I'll go with you, Matty. I think it's a try.
OK, well, that totalled up the Kiwis to 3 tries. It finished 5 tries to 3. Let's take a look at the final score. It was 30 points to 18, and for the Kiwis, Vangana was first in the 6th minute. Jerome Rapati scored in the 60th minute, and Vatabai at the death in the 79th minute. Carmichael Hunt 2 tries, Gaznia, O'Mealy and Inglis making up Australia's 5 tries. Stacey Jones didn't miss a goal, and Jonathan Thurston kicked 5 from 6. And in a performance, you'd have to say, Matt Johns, that firstly it smacked of his combination with Darren Lockyer at origin level, but he was good, wasn't he?
Oh, he was brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely, he was fantastic. He's going to make that 7 jersey his own. And when you look at a rugby league side, the positions that mould a side creatively are the halfback, the hooker, the 5'8", and the fullback. And when you look at the guys who play in those positions for Australia, Carmichael Hunt, Lockyer, Thurston, and also Cameron Smith, they're all terrific. You know, and barring Lockyer, all young players. So good future for Australian Rugby League.
OK, well, let's take a look at some tries. Firstly, Jerome Rapati. This one set up by Brent Webb.
Well, he's a good player, Jerome. I think you'll see him start in future games. He plays with a lot of energy, both defensively and with the ball, and that's a little pushover try. Nice work by Brent Webb. Just tips it off to Jerome. Little spin on Nathan Hindmarsh, and that's good work. Not many people slip out of Nathan Hindmarsh's clutch. It's good work, Jerome Rapati.
OK, Brian, you were very impressed with Carmichael Hunt. You mentioned earlier that he copped a smack, didn't he, in last year's test, and came back. Well, he was hurt last year, but this time he was hit heavily and performed beautifully with 2 tries.
Well, that's right. They targeted him in the Anzac test. I think Frank Pritchard knocked him out, but this is what we expected from the Australians. They tied up a lot of Kiwis at the post, and he had a lot of options there, Darren Lockyer. That's what we thought we'd see a lot more of, them hitting them out wide. They tied up 5 or 6 Kiwis in around the post. The winger in the centre for New Zealand were left very short. They had to come in. So he's had Carmichael Hunt on the outside, Matt King and Mark Gaznia, so a lot of options.
And this is a similar type of try. Again, Lockyer, the key man here was Lockyer to Thurston. And Thurston, a beautiful little straighten play. And that's an old hang play, Shero. And I can tell you, when you have a look back at this is absolutely beautiful to look at. It's just the subtleties that make the difference for ball players. Ball goes to Lockyer. And watch Thurston just straighten a little bit. I tell you, there'll be old fellas sitting around bars